Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel and the third episode of the Highway 66 Corvair Street Rod Project and the Manufacturer's Product Showcase. Today I've got to back up just a little bit and finish what I started last week. Last week, if you'll remember, I was working on the pinch rail, and I wanted to thank one of our viewers for sending me a little note. I kept referring that to as where the unibody was all put together and all the seams. And there's an actual name for that, and that's called a pinch rail. And so I wanted to thank you for that, the guy that wrote in and reminded me of that. So that helps me out. Sometimes you're doing these videos, you kind of forget what they were called, but that's exactly what that is. That's a pinch rail underneath, and we've got one of the supports that I put in underneath. It's already installed, finished, and welded in. But today I told you last time I would show you how I cut this out with a 4.5-inch angle grinder, that 1/4 of an inch all the way up through that rail. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll show you the picture of the one we've already got installed. And also today, if you stick around just for a few minutes, today I've got two parts from the manufacturers that have got involved so far on the Corvair project. One is from Vintage Air, and we're really excited about that. It really help us out and get a little bit further along with the project. And also the second one is from Tanks Incorporated. So I hope you'll stick around. We're going to open both of those items up. We'll show you what we've got, and then we're going to make plans to get those installed, and they're going to help us get a little bit closer to finishing the Corvair as we go. So welcome back again to episode 3 of the Highway 66 Corvair Street Rod Project. Thanks for sticking around, and I want to thank everyone for your views and all your comments. Keep writing in, give us a thumbs up, and maybe even subscribe to the channel. Again, we've got a long way to go. This is just, again, episode 3. So let's get started, and we'll back up. We're going to cut this rail out, and I'll show you how I've got it laid out. Come along, and let's get going. Again, I'm the Lone Builder, and thanks for watching. Let's do it. All right, let's get this cut off. I've got my 4.5-inch angle grinder, but again, with a 6-inch cutoff wheel. Got a new one right here, but we're gonna score this all the way up through there. I've got a little bit of it started here, and let's cut it out, and we'll get this slot cut out into this actually 2-inch by 1-inch piece of tubing. All right, it ain't plasma, but it works and it'll get you there. 4.5-inch angle grinder, one of my favorite tools that I've got in the whole shop. I'll finish this out. We'll come back, we'll get the holes drilled in it, and I'll show you a picture of the other one that we installed last week. Come on. Okay, I've got that cut off, and let me get to the inside of the car and show you what I got installed last week and finished up. And I've got my jack underneath the back of the car there. In a minute, I'll show you what that's holding up. We're excited about it. And so anyway, let's get around here, and I'm going to walk around to the other side. Again, I always like leaving you and showing you some of the pictures of the car. Again, I just love the way the car looks and the style of the car. So let's get inside. We'll walk around here. I'm going to go to the other side, and I'll show you the pinch rail support that I put in there. And again, I think it works out really well. It just adds a tremendous amount of strength to the car, and you can see that right there. There's a whole link picture of the support rail that we've got on there for the pinch rail. And let me climb inside here and see if I can give you a little closer shot. Now again, all this was MIG welded in, and I'll tell you why. Normally I like using my TIG, but here this material is galvanized, and that's what a little bit of that residue is right there that's on there. You can tell they've either coated it or it's actually been galvanized before they even build it. But TIG welding that, it really doesn't work out very well for your tungsten. It'll contaminate it, and at least it does for me. If you know a secret behind that, you can let me know. But I've got it MIG welded in, and I can live with those. Those are not too bad. bad. I hit them a little bit with the top of the grinder because we've got a piece of steel that's going to set on top of that that support that I made there. But goodness, you talking about strong, that really worked out. And like I say, up there in the front, there's about 1 inch of that is still open. Again, all that's going to get tapered off when I redo my inner fender skirt there and tie that all in. Then that'll be boxed in where water is not getting up inside there. But so anyway, what I'm going to do here, again, like I mentioned last week, we're going to lay a piece of 11 gauge on top of this, and it's probably going to be about 3 inches, enough to give us about 1.5 inch overlap on the support that I made here for the pinch rail. And again, that will be that 11 gauge going all the way down will be welded to the body and right here to this on the underneath. And if you're thinking about, you know, maybe the holes here, I mentioned, someone asked me, are we going to bolt the pan in? No, we're welding the pan in. It's going to be welded to this, but this first section of 11 gauge is really strong, and it's going to, again, continue to add support to the unibody here and to this pinch rail. And so anyway, what we've got the holes here for really have nothing to do with what we're bolting down here. It's what we're going to be bolting in from underneath. And I can tell you, there will be in all of our wiring, all the wiring that's running, you know, from the front to the rear of the car, that you see a lot of times running down through here, maybe even in the tracks here of all the wiring. None of that will be on the inside of the car. That's all going to be underneath the car. It'll be surrounded in what I'm going to build here, and these bolts are going to be to hold that in. Also, our fuel line. This is going to be a fuel injected car, so we're going to have a complete return line system on this going to and then back up to the manifold. So we're going to build a bracket that'll come out here that will hold something for us, and I've already got it, you know, got it laid out and designed. But all of our wiring and our fuel line will run inside that, and then we can take it on and off. We'll be able to look at it and check it out, and that'll keep it nice and tucked in up underneath the car. So that's why these holes are here, not for bolting anything to the top, but for underneath up on there. We'll run some stainless button heads under there, and that'll support our brackets when I get ready to finish that up. So anyway, I had someone ask me that and think we're going to bolt in the floor, but we're not. We're going to weld in the floor. But that first little section there, that little 3-inch section, will again, that's 11 gauge, but the rest of the pan will be 16, and we'll flange roll 1 inch of that. That'll set on top of that 11 gauge, and it'll all be spot welded in, and it'll add a lot of strength to that pinch rail. So anyway, there's what we finished up last week, and I'm going to finish the other side. We'll show you that when it's finished, but right now, let me show you the parts that we've got in from Vintage Air and from Tanks Incorporated. Let's get back to the table. Okay, everyone, thanks for sticking around and letting me finish up a little bit of the work that I started last week on the pinch rail. When we get the other one installed and completely welded in, of course, I'm going to go back and show you that. But for right now, I'd like to show you what Vintage Air has sent us to help us a little further along with the Corvair. And Vintage Air was the first manufacturer to actually get on board and to help out with the build. It has to do with our AC, and if you're thinking right now, well, you're a long way away from AC, you may be right to actually getting in the car and needing that, but there's a lot of planning going into the Corvair here, so I definitely want AC in the car. It never had it before, no vents or anything in the car, so we're going to be installing all of that. And to help us with that, Vintage Air sent us an awesome product that we're glad to have. It's going to make it a lot easier for me to manage and to get up under the dash and to fit the evaporator into the car. So without further ado, let me get the box open. I've already opened the top, but we're going to take it out of the box and I'll show you exactly what we got. Hang in there, let me see. We've got some brackets here. We've got some paperwork, of course. And let me get this out of the box. And it's packaged really well, by the way. I mean, this is all the styrofoam that they use. It's very important because when they ship you stuff, they want it to get to you, you know, the way it should be, brand new and undamaged. So they take a lot of care in their packaging to make sure you get the parts without them being damaged. So they're packaged very well. Matter of fact, here's the box that it's in. It's heavy duty, not going to fall apart. There's another big piece of styrofoam in the bottom of that. But anyway, check this out. This is what they call, and we're glad to have this, as simple as this may be, this is the Gen 2 compact mock-up unit. And why I wanted the mock-up unit was to, again, to help me get the evaporator under the dash, and it's a lot easier to manage. And if you fit this in the car, your original unit, the unit they're going to be shipping you that actually works in the car, that has all the controls, the blower, the fan, and all that, that weighs quite a bit. I'm not for sure how much it weighs, but it's a whole lot more than this, as you can see. That doesn't weigh anything. I mean, I don't think it weighs a pound. I don't really think it does. But anyway, this is so lightweight. Once you fit this in the car, your other unit's going to fit. Now, the Gen 2 Compact is set up with defrosters. It's going to have cold air. It's going to have heat. And so it has all three of those, and they work really well. Again, we've got a center unit here, or a center outlet that's going to work for the two vents that I'm going to put in. And we've got a left and a right. And we've got the defrosters. So again, fitting this into the car is a whole lot easier than fitting the actual unit in there. And then if if you have anybody else that needs AC in their car, these are great to keep and to have around. And I think they're somewhere in the neighborhood of $59, and I'll invest that all day long to have this lightweight unit to be able to put in under the car and not damage the other one and scratch it all up, and and try to fit it in. And now it has mounting bolts here on the front, on the top, and here on the back, and these are the actual mounts. This will actually fit everything to the original unit, the operational unit that you're gonna get, and install that. So everything here works the same way. You have a package of brackets here that mount to the bolt. They're easy to use. The instructions are in there, and so anyway, that makes it a whole lot easier to get your a step closer into having AC. Again, this car never had AC, the vents or anything, so I'm going to be installing all of that, and there's not a whole lot of room underneath that dash of that Corvair, and I believe the Gen 2 Compact is going to work out perfect. Now, what I'm a few measurements already, I got a feeling we're going to see about right here down, which I'll show you some pictures after we get it installed. I'll sacrifice that little bit under the dash rather than having an under dash unit, the old school or something like that, or even the original. This is black. It's not going to be easy to see underneath there, and this is all modern stuff. This is like brand new factory stuff here that's going to give you really cold air, good heat when you need it, and the defrosters will keep your windshield clean when you need them. So anyway, this is the Gen 2 Compact unit. Let me see if where'd my instructions go here. They blew off on the ground. And let's see if I got to get my other glasses on. I'm just going to read this. Yep, it's a Gen 2 Compact. We knew that. Now, the mock-up unit is a 68000-VUA unit. They check this off when they package it, and it's checked by. It's got the date when it was shipped. It's got how the brackets are to be installed. Again, this is just really easy to use, and it works a whole lot better, again, than me lifting a 35, I don't know, 25, 35 pound unit up and down, fitting it in, scratching it up, and damaging it. So I'd like to thank Vintage Air for sending this, and anyway, this is the very first thing, and again, I've said it before, Vintage Air was the first company to get involved, and they're just really phenomenal. Customer service is really, really fast. I ordered this on Monday, and even though I'm only a couple hundred miles away from San Antonio, I got this on Tuesday. So they got it out to me right away, and they're excited about the build, and I'm really glad that they're supporting this project. So I appreciate it again. This is a Gen 2 Compact unit for the Highway 66 project. So anyway, thank you, Vintage Air, and thanks for coming along. Okay, let me show you what I've got here on the table in this big box today. Opening these things that we're getting from the companies, they've decided to come on board and help us out. And but the hard part for me is to sit here and open all of these things, and sometimes even to share them online. Again, we're not here to brag about what we've got. They're parts that we've used from the companies in the past. So we know what these products do. We know how well they're built, and the quality of the products, from the packaging all the way up to the products in the box here. But sometimes I hate kind of opening them up and show them to everyone. Kind of makes me feel like the only guy in the room getting a Christmas gift, or at birthday parties, you're the center of attention. And well, that's really not my thing. I would rather be giving someone something than actually receiving it. But I have to say this, we're not going to turn it down because they've offered to help, and we couldn't be more excited with Tanks Incorporated to get on board with us. So without further ado, let me show you exactly what I've got in the box here today. Let's do it. Okay, let's see if we can get this thing out of the box here, and I'll do my best to keep everything on camera. Again, these things are pretty heavy. They're packaged really well, and these are some heavy-duty tanks. You know, they're just the way they're built, high quality at its best. So anyway, there's one box here. They've got it in another box to help protect this. And again, let's see what it says. Open the other end, and that's what we're going to do. This is the top here, but you can see, there we go. It's from Tanks Incorporated. And again, this tank actually is the MU-HT, and it's really for the 1964 to 1968 Ford Mustang. Universal is what I'm going to call it, because this one's set up for fuel injection. Now, I know what you guys thinking, all the Chevy guys out there, you're putting Ford on, you know, Ford parts on Chevys, and you got Chevy guys putting Ford parts on them, and well, that's just sometimes the way it is. This tank, I believe, after looking online and checking everything out from their lineup of tanks, I believe this one's going to fit best in the Corvair and give me exactly what I want to be able to fit this into the back of the car. Again, with the fuel pump, the way the pickup is on that, we'll be running an electric fuel pump with a full return line for the fuel injection system. And there's a sump down inside here that allows that pump to go down inside that. It keeps from starving out on the fuel supply, so that works really well. But the overall fit on the tank, I believe, is going to work out really well, and we'll get to see that a little further as we go here. But I certainly wanted to thank Tanks for helping out again with this. So let's get the tank out and let's see what it looks like. Again, the you know, the 64 to 6. Now, that's just what I picked out. You can pick out things that you have that you need a tank for, and you got something, and they have hundreds of them. They've got tanks that fit everything just about on the market. All the old muscle cars, I've got my tank for my 32 Roadster I bought from them. It fit perfect, and I'm really excited about it. It's been on the car for many years now, and it works out great. Let's see what we got in the bag here. I believe this is some of the accessories that come with the tank, and it's got a hose. Now these are high quality hose. They're fuel proof, and it means you're not going to smell gas in them. They're not going to leak through. They're really, that's almost a 1/4 inch thick, and so it's made just for that. And here's a 6-hole filler neck that's going to go down on the tank. It comes with screws. It comes with the cork gaskets to seal out all the make sure the tank doesn't leak. And what else we got in here? God, that is a vent, and it's a rollover. It's a safety valve. So if you're down, let's don't talk about it, but if you do flip the car over, that's going to turn upside down and keep gas from going all over the place. That's very important. NASCAR uses them, so why shouldn't we use them on the street? Especially in some of the high performance cars. But anyway, there's some of the accessories I'm going to put back in the pack. Again, high quality hose, the filler neck, the gaskets and the screws, and the rollover vent. And there's a little ball in there that rolls, rolls over if you do get upside down by accident. Let's hope we never do and have to worry about using that. But it's there just in case. And so anyway, let's get this over here. We'll set that aside. Now let's get the tank out of here, and we'll see what the tank looks like. Woo! And again, this is coated, so it's not just a bare steel. And I'm going to leave this like this. You can paint it if you want, but I like the silver color. Let's set this down here, and it's powder coated. I'll verify that, but I'm pretty sure that it is. And again, it's just awesome. It does a great job. And another cool thing about this is the bolts around the flange. Some of the other tanks that you can purchase, they don't have this. There's a seam line right here, and you can't drill anything. So what this is going to allow me to do is to drop it down in between the frame rails on the original Corvair and set it down in there. This tank is about 7 3/4 inches deep from here all the way up, and it's tapered in the back where this goes to the back of the car. And that allows you to set the car in there and not see it so much from the rear end, when you're driving. So let's get this turned over here. But anyway, it's really awesome. Let's put the plastic over here. I'm going to keep it on my plastic table. Again, I hope you can see all this. Now, the way I've got it setting right here, this will be the back of the tank facing you. This is the filler neck. Again, you've got where the pickup goes, and you got the sending unit. And again, if you look down in there, there is a big old tray down in there that keeps gas supplied. down in it, and it's got their logo on it right there. But again, this is a 16-gallon tank, and it is just, it's awesome looking. And to have 16 gallons in your hot rod, again, I've got 11 gallon in my 32, and I can go 200 miles. And I believe with the 16 gallon, I'll be pushing close to 300 miles. And I promise you, on a road tour, you're going to want to get out and get you a snack or something of that nature before you go any further and get that far down the road. So anyway, this is what tanks have offered us. Again, the 16-gallon, again, tank here, 64 to 68, the MU-HT gas tank. And we're going to finish it up here today. I'll let you take another shot of the car here, show you what that's looking like. And the next time you see us on episode 4, we'll have this setting down in the frame rails of the car. It won't be mounted, but it will show you what it looks like and see if I think it's going to fit the way I believe it will, and we'll get your comments on that. So anyway, again, thanks for watching. This is our second offer from the second manufacturer to get on board, and we can't thank you, Tanks. Thank you so much, Incorporated, the guys there that decided. We'd like to thank everyone at that company. Again, when you're not just mentioning one person that may have made this decision. They've got a whole company, and I want to thank them all because, again, we're representing that company, and I want to do that, and I'm glad to do it. So, again, I've been a long-time purchaser from Tanks, and I just wanted to thank them again for coming on board with the Highway 66 project. All right, thanks, and we'll see you next time on episode 4. Well, if you're wondering who that was, just parked the car and walked in behind the Corvair, that was my gorgeous wife. And so she'd be embarrassed if I let you know that on YouTube, but I'll tell you this too. Yesterday was our 42nd anniversary, and honey, I couldn't be more happier, and I'd do it all over again. 42 years yesterday we've been together, and she looks just as beautiful today as she did 42 years ago when I first met her. So thanks for sticking around, hon, with this old hot rod guy, and maybe next year around this time we'll be able to get in the car and go take a cruise and have a lot of fun. So anyway, back to everyone on YouTube. Thanks for sticking around for the 3rd episode, and I hope you come back for episode 4 as we put the tank down inside the frame rails there and see what it looks like. And anyway, that's where we're going to leave it today. Happy cruising. Thanks for sticking around, and come back and visit, and I'll see you next time on the Highway 66 Corvair Street Rod Build. Thanks for watching.